Good morning. We're out riding on the range. We're currently about 5 or 6 miles south of the foothills entrance. We're on this trail that parallels this big old wash. If we go back that way and drop into the wash, it'll lead us to Woodcutter's Pass. If we continue this way and turn to the left and drop down into the wash, it'll lead us to the Fortuna Mine, which is where we're going right now.
In December 1894, 3 ranchers were out searching for missing cattle. It was getting late, so they gathered rocks for a firing and wood for a campfire to stay warm for the night. The next morning they saw that one of the rocks contained gold. They searched for the source of the rocks and discovered a massive quartz vein. A 20-stamp mill was built in 4 terraces on what came to be known as Mine Hill. Each stamp weighed over 6 tons and was used to crush the ore for processing. The mill used amalgamating plates and sluice plates to collect the gold from the crushed ore and water mixture. In addition to the stamps, the mill housed 5 boilers, an engine, and a large air compressor. The boilers were fired by burning ironwood trees, which were once plentiful in the area. The fine gray dirt is actually ironwood ash.
At the top of Mine Hill, this is the 4th terrace. This is where the ore started its journey down the hill to be refined for gold. On the 4th level, looking down to the 3rd level. I'm thinking this might be one of the smokestacks from the 5 boilers.
The 2 main shafts are vertical, connected by drifts and stopes. The original shaft is 350 feet deep, while the newer lower shaft is 1,100 feet deep. In the 8 years that the mine was initially operated, over 200,000 tons of ore were mined, resulting in the recovery of $2.5 million in gold.
Some steel cable left behind.
Without a nearby spring or river, a water source had to be found. A pressurized 4-inch iron pipeline was laid from the town site 14 miles north to the closest source of reliable water, the once mighty Gila River. The pipeline was said to have a capacity of over 500 gallons per minute. The primary water storage was a large stone reservoir built on a hill 265 feet above the town. Additional pumps and water storage tanks were also located around the town. An abandoned mine shaft is said to have been used for emergency water storage.
stone reservoir is still a pretty solid structure. But that corner right there has started coming apart. The town site is behind me, and I'm looking north right now towards the Gila River, where the pipeline would have come from. And then you look down at the reservoir, and there's some 4-inch pipe leading into it. Now I'm on the town side of the reservoir, looking north away from town. And looks like there's where a pipe used to come out of there. So maybe the water was pumped back up and out of the reservoir. I saw this pile of rocks from the trail a few times driving by. And one time I decided to check it out. And found this. I wonder if this was their emergency water supply.
By 1900, nearly 100 people were regularly involved with mine operations. Many of them resided here along with over 24 women and children. To support mining operations, a support crew of builders, blacksmiths, mechanics, and cooks were employed. The town had a doctor and a barber, along with a general store, schoolhouse, and multiple saloons. A post office was open from 1896 to 1904 while the mine was in full operation, and the town was also a regular stop on the stage and freight lines, with runs to and from the Blaisdell station along the Southern Pacific Railroad. The ironwood tree was once plentiful here, growing in the washes and valleys. They can grow 50 feet high and live 1,500 years. Throughout history, they have been harvested for firewood, charcoal, and wood carving, and was the primary fuel for firing the boilers to run the steam engine. Stumps remain visible all around this area. Woodcutter's Pass was created to harvest and transport additional ironwood from the east side of the Gila Mountains when the supply on this side ran out. Woodcutter's Pass remains a favorite trail for local off-road vehicle riders. Underground hard rock mining is a hazardous job. In addition to the hazards of the job, the environment in which the miners resided was also very harsh, with summertime temperatures reaching well above 100 degrees on a regular basis, barely cooling down to less than 90 degrees at night. Records indicate that at least 12 people are buried in the town cemetery. In 1900, the gold vein was lost at about 800 feet. The next 4 years were spent digging in hopes of rediscovering the vein, but to no avail. The mine closed and was abandoned. Other investors made attempts to operate the mine in 1913 through 14, and again in 1924 through 26, each unsuccessfully. After World War II, the government withdrew the land from public ownership to create a military bombing and gunnery range, now known as the Barry M. Goldwater Range. or BMGR.